What I'm gonna start to do is clean up the two spindles and then clean up the disc, the brake dust shield. And then, like I said, I'm not gonna mess with those. It's gonna take up too much time, and I could just buy them. What I'm gonna use, instead of using the disc with this thing, I'm gonna use the drill with some brushes, a brush drill. I'll clean it up and then use some acetone to take off the grease. Then I could get ready to paint some primer on there. All right, yesterday I couldn't finish cleaning degreasing the spindles, but this is the next day. I basically had time, so I went ahead and I cleaned this spindle and the spindle up here. It's hanging by a coat hanger. I just strained out the metal coat hanger and I have them hanging by these pillars. That's how I'm gonna paint them instead of having them painted on the ground and pick up dirt. So I basically cleaned them. I used acetone, to take off like the grease and my fingerprints. Basically wiped it down, so it's ready to paint. I have this paper here. That's because I'm gonna be using my mixing cup. I'm gonna put it here, and I'm gonna pour my paint and my primer on top of this paper. That way, if I spill, I don't get this thing dirty, the table dirty. So I'm shooting primer, my epoxy, it's called epoxy primer. I'm shooting it with this. This is the hardener for the epoxy primer. Basically epoxy primer is for like metal. It adheres to metal much better. It's not sandable. So like if you sand this epoxy primer, it's gonna get stuck to the sandpaper and make little balls in it, like gunk up the sandpaper. So I'm just shooting it with epoxy primer because it's gonna go straight to bare metal. So I'm using that. And then I also have, this is jet black paint with also the activator. I got it from my local PPG store. And then I got my measuring cups, my filters, the cups that are attached to the gun, my respirator, and the spray gun I'm using is a cheap Harbor Freight one. I have it set to like 20 to 30 psi. I'm gonna test it out right now when I apply the epoxy primer to see how it's spraying. And so far that's pretty much I have done. This is my setup, and then I'm about to shoot it with some epoxy primer right now. Now I'm just gonna get some tape real quick, and I'm just gonna tape from here. I'm gonna tape this all the way up to here because I don't want to get no paint on that. But everywhere else it's fine. Like underneath, there's really nothing. It's just the back of it. But I went ahead and I cleaned it either way. So that's pretty much what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna tape these up and then I get back. All right, there you go. I went ahead and I masked off, where I taped off basically where I don't want paint. I'm pretty sure it's okay to get paint right here, but on the shaft and everything where the disc goes, I'm not gonna paint that. So there's that one, and then there's this side. All right, and then now I'm gonna start mixing up the epoxy primer. Give this at least 15 minutes to dry. This is just the first coat. And then I'll go again and I shoot it with another coat. I think, like I said, I might do 2, but I think this, since I missed a little bit more paint, I'm gonna shoot it with 3 coats. So I just sprayed the 3rd coat of epoxy primer on these spindles. 3 on this one and then 3 on the other one. So it's dried. So what I'm gonna do is I already mixed my jet black, which is what I got from PPG Automotive. Let's see, I don't know if you can see it, but it's jet black, PPG. And then he also mixed it with the, I guess, the hardener. That's the part number. And I went ahead and I did 3 to 1 and I mixed it. I'm just gonna pour it into my paint funnel, and the funnel within the paint, and I'm getting ready to spray it. That's the 2nd coat. It did some good coverage. I think I was laying it on too heavy, but it did cover it and there's no runs. So I think it's gonna take a while for it to dry out because I think I overshot it with too much paint on it. Hopefully it doesn't crack or tend to peel. I'm just gonna let it sit. I don't think you can see it from there. I'm just gonna let it sit, maybe hanging like this for maybe a day, overnight, and come back at it tomorrow just to see how it dried out. But it did pretty good. It laid out pretty good. Like I said, it's a single stage, so it has black. It has gloss mixed with the black in it, so it's single stage. So basically, it's both. I didn't want to do a 2-stage paint or something like that, just because, like I said, you're never gonna see it. It's just something I didn't want to buy and replace or powder coat. Yeah, I enjoy painting, so I'm just gonna do it this way. But yeah, it came out pretty good. It takes a while to prep and do all this other stuff, but at the end it turns out all good if you just do it right and take your time and let it sit and dry. But like I said, I think I just laid this one on a little bit too heavy, but it looks nice. All right, I think that's it. Tomorrow when it dries up, because the day's already ending for me, it's already gonna get dark in an hour. So tomorrow I'll post a video, which I guess you guys see the next day, right, or in like a couple of seconds because of the editing, but I'll show you how it turned out. All right, later. All right, this is the next day for me, but a couple of seconds for you. This is how the spindle came out. I painted it with industrial black paint, automotive paint, and it came out pretty good. I painted them yesterday. I shot the black on there around 7 o'clock. It got dark around maybe 8ish or 8:30ish. So I had let it sit overnight, and then in the morning I went to go check it, and it was still kind of tacky, so it kind of kept them hanging. And then right now it is like 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and they dried up. They're pretty good. paint seems to work really well. It's nice and shiny, and it feels durable. So that's pretty much how they came out. I'm proud of it. I like it. But they won't be going back on the car right now. I still gotta do some engine bay work, which is on this car. It's a 3rd gen Firebird, or what they call it, 3rd gen Camaro. The same body style. It's just the front and the rear and the hood are different. But I can't open the hood right now. But that's pretty much the work I'm doing. I welded up the firewall because I'm gonna have it kind of smooth. Fixing some rust that is going on with the car, like right here where the battery used to sit. The battery acid kind of deteriorated the metal, so I need to go ahead and fabricate something new there, which I'm gonna get to. But I am working on it. I'm welding up, if you can see that circle right here, I'm welding up the hoses that I'm not gonna use, and just have the main hoses, the hose like the brake booster, the steering column, some wiring that need to go through the firewall to the engine bay that I'm gonna have. But every other hose that it has, like from the AC from this direction that way, I welded it up because I'm not gonna have AC on this car. So I welded it and I did some body work right there. But on the inside later I'll show you how I welded it, because I haven't did the body work from inside the car. The K member, I'm not gonna reuse this K member. I already have over there in the shed. I have the UMI K member with the stock spring mounts, because I don't want to use I guess coilovers, and plus I didn't really think it through, so I just bought the UMI stock one like this, but it's all tubular, so that's what's gonna go in there. Like I said, I was gonna paint the control arms that are there, but you know, it was too much work to get those done, and I'm just gonna buy it from UMI, their control arms, the lower ones, the A arms actually, my bad, the lower A arms, so I could use what they call from Detroit Speed weight jack suspension, so I could control the weight, because I do want it as like a pro touring track car. So that's the way I'm going. It's gonna be with the big block Chevy. I have a 454 that I'm gonna have stroked out to a 496, so that's what's gonna come into this car. I didn't want to do no LS or anything like that. I don't think my channel would be doing LS anytime soon. I like old school big block Fords, small block Chevys, big block Chevys, you know, old school carbureted style. I know you could do that with the LS's, but I like the old school. So that's the tradition I'm doing on my channel. But you can see here it's already kind of rusting, so I need to go in here and fix all this. Hopefully in a couple days I'll have the engine sanded down, body worked, welded the hoses that I'm not gonna use, like here, have it real nice and smooth, and spray some 2K primer over it, so when that sits I could work on the body, and then when I start sanding everything I would get ready for like a base coat with the clear coat. I ain't gonna do no single stage. I'm gonna do a base coat, clear coat on it, so I could get the most shine out of it, nice stuff out of it. But yeah, it's pretty much what I have going on right now. I'll be posting my next video, me working on the firewall and doing some body work on that, and fixing the rust where the battery sat, fix that metal there. Right here it was rusty out right here, like about like this big of a rust. I cut that out and I welded new metal in there, and I had light body filler over and primered it. Same thing here, there was a rust spot here, welded that, body fillered it, and painted it. And then I don't know if you can see, same over here, you can see in here, right here it's just surface rust, but I'm gonna come back and grind this down and paint it before it gets worse. But it was rusty in here. That's usually the rust happens in here with these 3rd gens, and I went ahead, I cut it out, welded it, and right here I welded, well, spot welded these rust holes, but you can see that they're coming back out, which I need to go back in here and take care of this. The doors is a different story. The doors are pretty pretty messed up. Like there's a big hole here and it's all rusty underneath the panel of the door. So I'm probably gonna look for another 3rd gen and replace those doors. If not, I'm just gonna go and try to weld new sheet metal into that, or get fiberglass ones. It depends on the work, I guess, and the process. I'll see when I get there. But yeah, pretty much the video was just on me painting the spindles, getting them ready, because I want to get the front suspension and the inside the hood done by the end of September. So that's that plan. So, but I know I got closer than I did before taking breaks, but you know, I got the spindles done. But yeah, just stay tuned. On my next video, I'll be working on the engine bay. All right, thanks guys.